Hello everyone, I am the Flesh 3004. Welcome back to Satisfactory. Thank you for coming to hang out with me. I always enjoy having you here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's get into some gaming. Right now, what I have done is I have a long track, and it is a long track. It goes all the way up there to that quartz that we have all the way up over there. So there's a quartz and there's a train station up here, and I got the quartz from way down here, as you know. So the quartz cave is there, and I have it coming out here, and we have the quartz all the way up there. In any case, I have a track coming down here because it was going to be difficult for a tractor to do it, and I figured a train would be a lot better and a lot more efficient. I need to finish these tracks, so I wanted to do that with you so that you can kind of see some of the processes of it, because I didn't really show a lot of processes with that track there. And that one's going to get coal from there and taking it all the way over to that station over there where we have the bauxite that is coming down from the top there. Let's go ahead and let's continue building this out here. And then just, let me see. I want to make sure to kind of keep it right. I am going to probably have to come over here and build over here. So, I actually did try to do a video, and it just was not turning out very well. I made a lot of mistakes, and so I am going to redo this so that way it is better, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, you can see some of the things that are going on. I want this one to be down a little bit, so I'm going to press H, and I'm going to press page down, and maybe make that one just a little bit lower for right now. Then I'll build him. Then I'll come back over here. And then we're going to make this guy go from here up to there. I'm not going to use like any like foundations and stuff. I'm just going to see if I can do it like this. So that way we have, you know, something a little bit different. It's going to drop a little bit in elevation, but that's okay. That's kind of what I'm wanting things to have happen. This one is going to be a little bit more different. So yeah, I did a video, but it just, like I said, there were a lot of mistakes and stuff, and I just could not get stuff right because I was trying to merge this track with that track and do stuff, and I'm not understanding it, so I just opted to not and say I tried kind of thing. So I came back and I reloaded up an old save, older save, this previous save, I should say. So that way I have this. I'm just going to take this guy out here. Okay. It's actually kind of scary when you think about it. You have this huge rail coming at you. Now you can have multiple tracks. You can merge them. I just don't know what I'm doing with that. So I'm not even going to, you know, really do a lot with that. I am going to take this guy probably ways up there, and then I'm going to press H, and I'm going to lower him one. Oop, or not. Okay. And I'll press H again. And we'll try it. Well, we'll just try the track. How's that? We'll go see if we can get some track going up there, because I want to make sure that it's raised up enough that's going to work. I want to angle him a little bit like that. Because if it's on the ground all the way, you have a lot of problems with like the ground raising and lowering and stuff, and that can be kind of a problem when you're trying to get stuff done. I've already experienced that a little bit, so we're gonna see if we can get some of this stuff happening. You see, that one is there. I'm going to take it up here. I'm probably just going to build right next to this one. I'm going to see if I can actually lower. Nope, okay, it's not going to let me lower it. And that does happen. I'm probably just going to have to, well, you know what I could do? I could do something like that. And then we can put that together with that. There we go, that'll work. Get that. Have him go from there all the way up to here. It's going to be a little bit through the rock, but that's okay. And be careful when you're doing this that you're not standing where the track is, because you may end up getting stuck. The train won't be affected by this stuff here when the stuff is through the ground and stuff like that. It just will not affect it at all. So there is that. You won't have to worry as much about that. Let me go ahead. I like having the pillar pieces. That's good. That works. And I'm just going to take this guy up to here. Then I'm going to have to figure out a place to put a train station. Let me actually do a pillar support. I'm going to do that right up there. Think about right there. And then I'll put in one of those. And again, press H and just lower it down a little bit. There we go. I'm just trying to make sure that I keep the track going as much as I can. And I can have this kind of going on a semi-straight trajectory. It isn't exactly working out as I would hope, but maybe what I can do is move that a little bit. So I have this bridge here that is going over the water. I'm already up to there. I did get the track. It is on the ground some and also on pillars a little bit, so that way, you know, I can make it go kind of how I want to, because it's kind of tricky and hard to do this at times. H, lower that down a little bit, like about there. Okay, we'll see. Kind of wanted to kind of follow the way that the land is, you know, kind of make it as good as I can. It is going to drop down a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. So it's going to be right next to this other track. And this is some of the problems that I'm having is you have that stuff go down to the ground, and I just kind of think it would look better if that was not. So I'm just going to go ahead and figure out a better way to do this. Maybe I can actually just redo this. Have that up there a little bit higher. Maybe that will help this not be as much in the ground. It is a little bit better, but it isn't as, you know, good as I was hoping, but it is still better than it was, so that's good. There's a slight angle to it, but that's okay. We can straighten it out as we go. And we'll just continue making this go over that way, and then we'll build a station over there. What I've done right now is we're up over by this other station. I'm going to attempt to put a station up on here. I do have these, so if I need to, you know, extend it out, which I probably will, then I can do that. I have concrete pillars underneath the bottom, and I can put down some more. It's not really that big of a deal to do that. I just also want to make sure that I'm not impeding on this. I may need to move it over a slight touch, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to have to get one of those package stations or whatever they are, you know, the freight stations here, so that way I can get things better. And I'm going to straighten this out too, so that way this is straighter coming into here, because I really want to have a good station over here. I just got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. And I think I have a way that I could possibly do that. Let me just get over to another area. Over here, I'll show you what we're doing over here as soon as I can get this done. Let me get up there, get this train station built, or so I hope. Okay, so I'm just going to get over here on this side. I'll do that. And then we will select train station. Okay, surface is too uneven. There we go. And I can make this work. I can just get some plastic, and I'm going to need some more of those encased steel beams, and then we can get this built. I'm going to be straightening it up for sure, and this is going to be the end, so you want to make sure that the curved part is towards where you want the train to stop, and I'm going to get it as close as I can without it hitting anything. Okay, let's do that right there. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to turn it a little bit. Wasn't too sure. I might be able to actually nudge it a little bit. Okay, nudge. Let me move it a little bit over that way to give me some room to work with. Okay. Then on the other side, what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and put in a freight platform. Now, I can't do that right now because the surface is too uneven. That's why I wanted to nudge that over enough to give me room to work with. Let me go ahead and get some more of these guys right here down. Let's go to the freight platform. Surface should not be too uneven, but I am just going to go and press H, and then we're going to put this guy in. Okay, now what I have to do is pretty much figure out how I am going to make this work, because I'm probably that train, I don't know, we're gonna have to go see if that train is actually gonna hit any of these going out, or if it won't. I don't know yet. These ones here probably will. Okay, I'm gonna have to put things on the top one then. That's okay. Now, what I can do is actually get rid of a bit of that track and then have it connect up to here. So let me get this done. So I want to make this as straight as I can. I want to start right here. If I can make this be a bit straighter, it's not very straight. I do got to say that much for sure. But I guess it will work for what it is. Okay, and then I can just go ahead and do that, and then I can lower this down a little bit. And I guess do something similar to like that. I guess that'll work. I know it's clipping through, but that's about all I'm going to be able to do for right now. Okay, then I have the fun task, because I want this to not be a train with engines on either side. I want it to be a train that will make a full circuit. So I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to take another one of these and go out that way, one more, just with the regular empty platform. Okay, so I can actually just do this, and then that should help out. What I have done is I've taken this on a loop, so it comes around there and then it goes back up there. Now, I need to make sure this one says unload as far as this goes, so that way I have that done. So let's go to here. We are going to unload on this side. We're going to go up to the other one. I'm going to make a train, probably with at least one car, and for sure one car, one locomotive. And then we're going to take this on a little trip, and we're going to go see. And you have to kind of make the rails a little bit bigger. You can make them a little bit smaller than that, but it's tough. And so I just kind of make them a nice big loop for what I am doing here. And this is my first experience with a closed circuit instead of a back and forth. So hopefully things will work out right. And then right now, let's just go and go up to here. I am going to go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and put on a locomotive, and he is facing the correct way. That is what I was hoping for. And we are going to do that, and then we're going to get a freight car. We're going to put him on the back, So that way he is connected to there. Okay, these two are now connected. This guy should be... No, he's not powered yet. That I know of. Okay, it is actually powered. How do you like that? So I guess I have it powered on the opposite end for right now, so that's good. Yeah, we have this station here. This is Zeewold, and then we have another station a long ways over there, and that is Milano, I guess. I have to figure it out for sure. Let's go ahead and we will get this guy going, and I'll take you on a trip for what this train is doing. Ah, that's close. That's awesome. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to switch that. That does not work. Before we go taking our maiden voyage of the train track, I want to go over one thing real quick that I'm doing over here. I have a different setup over here now. It's a little bit different. I had a awesome sink over here. Something happened to it. I don't know what, but right now I do have a whole lot of silica in there. And so we normally can't use it, but there's quite a bit here. So I am going to actually have that go down here. This is into a foundry, and the foundry is going to be making aluminum ingots. Down here, I have the aluminum scrap, which I did not mean to pick up, but okay. So I can take this. I have one piece of aluminum scrap, and I'm not able to put it in yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that and make that into aluminum ingot. I'm going to take that one aluminum scrap and put that in there, so that way I have that. The silica is coming down here into right there, and so it is going to be coming into here. And then this will be making the aluminum ingots. Now, what I have to do is get some power over here to it. So let me just go ahead and make one of those. Probably up over here or something. Put it maybe right up here. That train station already has power, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm going to have to make some more silica come down here once we start getting that going. Just going to do that. And then I'm going to take that one from there to here. And then I'll take that one from there over to this guy. And then that way that guy can start making aluminum ingots. Now we have that going. Okay, so we're going to be making a lot of aluminum ingots. That's good. That means we're going to start using this coal now too. Because the coal is feeding into here, and it's making, we need coal in the water, and then it's making 6 aluminum scrap, and there's a little bit of water being fed back into the system. And then here, of course, we have the aluminum ingots. Once we have all of this done, that's going to help. Now, what I need to do also is take it out from there and hook it up to this. So I'm probably just going to have to get a merger for this. That way I can have that happening. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Merger here. I'm just going to take that guy probably right. Guess that's about as close as I'm going to get him, but I can still make him go somewhere up here. That's fine. It isn't going to hurt anything. I will just do it like that. And then I can take it out from this one up here because I don't want to use that station. That's already used for coal. I'm going to take that and I'm going to have you go all the way over to there. Sweet. Okay, that is going to be unloading this silica that we're going to be going to get. Okay, I can see there's going to be a problem already. Let me go ahead and get rid of that, and let me do this the right way. That is now done. Now what I'm going to do is get over to the other set of tracks. And now we're going to take our maiden voyage on our train here. And we're going to go and see if we can get this done. So this is just going to be a train that's not going back and forth. Instead, it's going to be making a complete circuit. So let's go see how well this does. It should do okay. I don't know why it won't. And it is going to be a little bit steep in places. And it's going to, like, you know, go very close to some rocks and stuff, but it's just gotta be that way. This thing took quite a while to build. I was building, you know, these individual pieces and all of that along the way, trying to make it not float. So I don't want things floating. I kind of don't really like that, but, you know, sometimes it has to happen. Setting up the stations was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work. So we're going all the way up here, and we pass right by a pine tree, or a palm tree, I mean. Pine tree. Palm tree. There's a little bit of rough curves there, but it should work. Go right around this. Didn't plan it that way, but that's just the way it happened, so I just kind of left it. And then we're going to be going up to here. And then I have this station here. This is Venray. Yeah. All right. Now that we have that, there is a whole bunch of silica in here. I am going to get this loaded up into there, so that way I can start loading up this, and then we're going to go see if we can get this done. Okay. All right. Now comes the fun part, is we have to try to make this train do what it needs to do. So when you're on the train, press Q, and then you want to edit the timetable because you want it to go to certain stations. Okay, Venray and Zvold. We are going to go to Zvold, so that is the first one that we want to place. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to come back to Venray. All right. Save changes. Sweet. Next station, Zvold. Okay, says it should be doing okay, and that is good. I will turn on the auto train in just a minute. I want to let this guy go ahead and get some stuff in it, so maybe it will fill up. And then we're going to go to Q, and we're going to turn on self-driving. Okay, this train is actually going to take us on the complete circuit. It's going to go down there. It's going to try to, quote, drop its load. Doesn't have a load to drop, but, you know. So let me know what you think about this. Do you like this train that I have going on? It's a little wonky, I know, but it works, and that's what matters. I figured it'd be easier than a tractor going all this way. I could probably work on, you know, making this better, but for right now I think it's just gonna work fine the way it is. So then we'll have the stuff getting loaded on there, and then we can really begin making a lot of aluminum ingots. Once we have that done, then we can begin making a whole lot of the casings and other things like that. Kind of an interesting ride. We are doing 148 kilometers an hour. That's really, really fast. So the train drives itself. I do nothing. I'm just sitting here with my hands clasped, letting it do what it needs to do. Then it gets to the station, and this thing is actually going to pretend that it picks up a load. Okay. It is docking. That thing will do what it needs to do once that is done. Next station, Venray. So it's going to be going back up to Venray. It'll take it a couple of minutes here. And then it'll honk at you and let you know, okay, that part's done. I am heading back home. And you have to make sure those switches with the arrows are right. That way you know. That way you can make it go the right way. And then I just have it go back through the station, which is fine because it's just passing through, so it knows it doesn't need to stop at that station. I'm learning more about this as I go. I just could not make the switches work, so that's why I decided to redo this. And this is actually a lot better. That way it's its own track set off by itself, because it had to merge with those other tracks, and it was just not working. And I realized it wouldn't work because the trains were going to collide no matter what I did. Okay, we're just getting back to the other station. It is going to slam on its brakes, and it is going to load up whatever it has in there. And this is not a fluid platform. There are ones that you can do, and apparently it will put on the right thing. Okay, we'll grab a load. And then he's going to drop that load right onto our train, and we'll take the train back and we'll get this unloaded. And I will make a sink for all of the extras of that stuff that we just don't need. And then that way that should be good, and works out just like it should. Okay, you're loaded, and it says let's go. So this is pretty awesome. I do like this. So now we're riding on a train. We can make it you know, several cars long if we really wanted to, but I really am not really all that interested in it. I am just going to make it one car for now until we can kind of figure out how we're doing things. So I like the way that the wheels turn and all of that stuff. I think that's really cool. Doesn't turn a lot, but it does turn some. Alright, we made our first complete circuit. This guy will get the load. He'll pick it up, he'll drop it off into here, and then that will start unloading onto there. And this train can start its automatic routing as it goes. Drop that all the way into there. And then it will start unloading all of the goods that it has. Sure, I don't get hit by a train or nothing, that would be bad. And now it's unloading all of the stuff that it has. The silica, I guess it is. I'm trying to remember the name of it. So now we are making some pretty good progress again. Now we need to get this guy going so that we can get some other things happening, because that's going to be good. And this guy is, of course, doing everything that it can. It just can't do a lot right now. And then, of course, in this one, it's just waiting for everything to be happening with the coal and all of that. So we got to get this guy going. Now we have this. I'm going to have to work this guy out and up here, because what we're going to have to do is get some other stuff going. So let me go Q. I do believe that we need an assembler for the... No, we don't. We need a... What is it that we need? We need a constructor for the next piece, so that way we can make, you know, the next thing happen. I am going to move that up just a little bit. Right there, so that way that works. Okay, that should work out right there. And then we will take this here. We'll make him go up onto there for one thing. So we'll have this guy kind of go up onto here. I hope it's going to work. Or if not, we'll just have him go up to here. And then we'll swing him around to go into there. Okay, so now we have the ingots going. Now what I have to do is take this and of course wire everything up so that way it'll work. There we go. And then we can begin making the aluminum casings. Let's go ahead and get these going. Okay, the aluminum ingots will be coming in. I am going to split these because we're going to need one more thing. Let me go ahead and get that thing. That is the assembler. I'm going to try to put the assembler wherever I can over here. Now we'll put that guy right there. He can go right in there. Okay, this assembler here is going to be making Alclad aluminum sheets, but I need copper. I think I have some copper on me, but I do have 100 copper. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's make Alclad aluminum sheets. I'm just going to get 100 copper, slap that in, and then I'm going to get a splitter for here, and then we'll get this going so that we're making a couple of things. A splitter right there, that will work. Maybe I can actually have them come a little bit farther up. And then we'll have this guy go right up into there. And now what I have to do is figure out how I am going to get this to actually work right, because I'm going to have to take some copper from somewhere. I'm not going to be able to make another train station up here without a whole lot of fuss. That's one of the biggest problems. I could probably figure out a way to, but it's going to be a severe challenge. So I think I'm just going to have to truck some copper in or something with the tractor from that copper that I have marked over there. And then we can get this going. You know what? This is not going to work out the best for this. Okay, I guess it will. It'll work. Let me go ahead and get another one of these guys in, so that way I have him. I'll just put him right there, and then we'll get this guy going too. So that way we have some other things happening, and that's going to be good, and that should help. Okay, sweet. Now, this guy's going to be making the Alclad aluminum sheets, and that's good. And then this guy will, of course, be making the aluminum casings. Now that we're going to be having aluminum casings, I am going to wait for it to be 100, and I'll take those out. Okay, I got the 100 casings. Now let's go back over to our base, and we're going to go look at something real quick. Now that we're back at our thing that we had the hub, let's go ahead and let's open up this hover pack. We're going to select this milestone, so we're going to need 100 of the Alclad aluminum sheets. I thought for sure it was the casings. Well, we can go back and get that, and I'll get all the rest of this stuff put in, and we'll open that up. Okay, just got everything loaded. Let's go ahead and do the hover pack. Sweet.
Milestone reached. The hoverpack draws energy from nearby power connections, and so can only be used in their vicinity. It provides an excellent vantage point of your work, which you clearly need. Otherwise, you would have optimized that obvious problem by now.
She's a snarky one, ain't she? She's been snarky for a long time. Alright, so we have that, and then logistics is one of the other ones, which is we need more Alclads, and we're going to be good there. The hazmat suit is where we need the casings, and we have to do iodine-infused filters. Let's go see, because that would be like one of our tools or something. Let's go in here, and let's go see what we can find. Okay, we're going to have to find out where some stuff is, but we do have the zip line. There we go. Hover pack. How do you like that? Okay, the jet pack, we already have that, so that is on us. It should be. Okay, here's a hover pack, so we're definitely going to have some more modular frames and computers, which we'll do a little bit later. Right now, I want to go see if there's anything that, you know, we can get to help ourselves out. And for right now, it doesn't look like there is. We're probably going to have to make a zip line. So it looks like we're going to need another Xenobasher. I think we have one. And some quick wire. And then we can do this. So provides faster travel to factories by allowing pioneers to zip along power lines. Activate the zip line and aim at a nearby power line to connect to us. So we can make that also. We will worry about that a little bit later. For right now, we just really need to see if we can get a lot of that aluminum going, because there's a lot of things coming up that we're going to need for it, and a lot of those things are actually in here. So we're going to have the assembly director system and a lot of this other stuff. I don't know where we make that stuff at. That's going to be one of the things. So let me go look into here. And I need to go see. There's the inventory control stuff. So we have a blender, okay, which we're going to have Alclads and the casings. And then, of course, computers and plastic to be able to open up this one, which would not necessarily be a bad thing to do either. And then we can have this, and that's going to help out a lot. This one, we're definitely going to have to just do a little research to see if we can get this one open, which we're going to have to get the gas filters. And that's something we just don't have anything with yet. So we're probably just going to have to do some research in the MAM for that. And we're going to have to get that kind of stuff figured out. I don't know exactly where we do all of that, so we're just going to have to do some things and see what we can get figured out there. In any case, this is Satisfactory. We now have 2 working train lines, and the process for doing those is a little intense, but it's actually very doable. I do like this one. I just like the other one. That's the complete circuit, but this one actually works out really good too, and I think this is pretty awesome as well. So we have a lot of coal going in here, and I think everything is working out right, and then we can get some more stuff going. We can get some copper, use a tractor, maybe that tractor or another one, and get the copper going all the way over there, and then we can really get that stuff going and make a whole bunch of other stuff. If you've enjoyed this episode, drop a like on the video, and we will continue making a lot more stuff and getting a lot more stuff going and seeing what we can do here very soon. You have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.